Good morning. I'd like to talk to you today about the use and care of your Surikome brush. This is your dye brush that is going to be your best friend whenever you are doing waxing and dyeing of batiks. This is a brush that is handmade in Japan, so you want to treat it with the best of care. As you can see here, it's hand sewn, it has a bamboo shaft, and these wonderful badger hair bristles. When you initially get your Surikome brush, you want to get it wet before you start dyeing because you want to have the water in the brush bristles ready and tempered so that once you start pushing the dye into your fabric, you won't have any bristles shed their hair. And you're always, once you start dyeing, you're always going to keep this brush wet. And you're going to do this all through the process. In between changing colors, you want to wash out the brush gently in some water. You can just rinse it. You can use some of this mild dish detergent if you want to, but you can just rinse it out before you change colors. But when you're done, it's very important that you take good care of cleaning it. So in order to do that, you're going to submerge, as you can see I have here, the bristles in water, and you want to have them just up a little bit, and you can actually have less water than this, but you want to just submerge them so that the bristles are kept wet. And once the water starts getting the dye in it from soaking, you're going to change that water. And you might have to change that water 3 or 4 times over 3 days, but I recommend, as you can see here, there's still some dye left here from the other day, and this has been soaking for about 3 or 4 days. So what you will do, and I'm just going to do it with one of these, you're going to take that dye brush out. I'll just take this one for example, and I'm going to put a little bit of soap on it. And I'm going to massage the soap into the bristles very gently to make sure that I've scrubbed it properly. It's not even scrubbing, it's just tempering it properly. You can see here I've got it all soaped up. And then I'm going to rinse it off. Now, once I rinse this brush off, I want it to dry, and I'm going to put it in a container that keeps the bristles upright, because you never want to store these brushes with the bristles down. You can do it for soaking, but when you keep it long term, or you know, till your next dyeing, you want to keep the bristles stored up, because otherwise you can damage those bristles by having them sit down. So once this is washed, you just let it dry out, and it'll probably take about a day or so, but once you do it, you'll be good to go again. See, we'll show you again. See, look at this brush. I'm going to just gently squeeze off the excess water. I could have rinsed this out one more day, but I think it's in pretty good shape since I've been changing the water for about 3 days now. And the rule of thumb is when you see the water has been completely colored by the dye, change the water and do it again. So it might be 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times during the course, but you can see here how I just want to get this all soaped up. And then I'm going to rinse it off again. And I'll just squeeze a little bit the excess water out of it. Make sure it's shaped, because you can see here, long-term use, I've used these brushes. This brush is at least 4, if not 5 years old. But long-term brush use, sometimes if you keep it submerged in the water too long, you can have a problem with these little stitches coming undone, And I actually had that happen with one of my brushes, and I had to sew it back together again because since it's handmade, I just went in with some thread and I glued. You can see how this is glued, and it's seen a lot of life. It's holding those bristles together, and then I went back in and restitched that. So again, you want to guard these with your life and take good care of them, and they'll take good care of you, and they'll last you a long time. So enjoy your Surikome brush and have a great day. Thanks.